And we're getting ready for heat race number 1 of the night. 4 heat races in the last chance qualifier for the main event at the bull ring here in Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Heat race number 1 will be in randomized reverse order from the Auto Club Speedway, separated into the 4 respected heats and then randomly drawn. Brad Smith, the number 1 car, randomly starting in the first position, next to Daniel Quinones. Richie Manchin, the Enterprise Ford, next to Benjamin Thomas and the Pennzoil 24. Brett Pritchard starts next to Caitlin Muir. Jonathan Hicks is side by side with Brett Pritchard. And on the last row, we have Andrew Weisbecker and Gavin Kircher. And because in typical fashion of everything going, the UI broke itself. So we'll get going. It's a short race, and it'll be fixed for the next one anyways. So it is only 15 laps. The car finishes last, gets eliminated from the night, will be scored in last place for tonight's event. So kind of important to not lose this race. Bottom 3 then falls down to, actually I need to change this. Bottom 3 falls down to the LCQ, and then the top 6 will advance on to the main event. All right. I'll go around for one more pace lap. Pace car will duck down, and then 15 laps for this short heat race. Reckless Racing bringing all new cars tonight. They should be strong. They have a good short track program. Royal Purple also expecting to be good. Green flag in the air. Brad Smith chooses when to take us around. Here he goes. Going to take a little bit for rubber to build up on this track, so the inside line should be prevalent at the beginning of this race, and then the outside should come in throughout the rest of the night. Easy lead for Smith. Side by side towards the back. It's a 10 car trying to fight with Ben to get into the transfer spot to the main event. Ben trying to hold on. They're working on currently lap number 4. Monster Energy using the Hydro for the sponsor in the 10 car this weekend. Brad Smith still leads this thing. It's got about a half a second gap over Richie. John's not doing too bad. He didn't do too well at Bristol, so this is not a bad run for him. He's talking about leaving DK Motorsports at the end of the season. Current rumor is that he's going to Iriel Motorsports to race for Brett Pritchard and expand that team to a 4-car team. At the battle for the transfer position, it looks like the 10 car is edging ahead of the 24. That's going to put Ben into the LCQ. Kind of surprised to see the 24 trying to work this outside. I know he's waiting for it to come in, but just because he's the first heat race, it's not going to work too well for him. He needs to be on that inside, and then with Andrew now going, or sorry, Jacob trying to go by, it's going to make that even harder for him. Gavin definitely struggling in his O2 car, so he's going to be the one eliminated and unfortunately score last place for that team. He's been trying to get GJK off the ground, but having a hard time running off with 2 cars to start this thing. They're currently completing on lap 13 now, so the race is almost over. And it's definitely going to be Brad Smith for this first one, it looks like, unless Richie can pull a hat trick with a couple laps to go. So he takes the white flag. Brad Smith is going to win heat race number 1 and the transfer. We're going to have a little fight right here at the end. Ben's really trying to use that outside, but it is going to be Andrew Weisbecker, and that was very close for the transfer spot. Ben almost got him at the line. Difference of 0.04 of a second. Ben sure tried. It was coming in at the end, but just not enough time. So Ben will drop to the LCQ with Jacob McMillan and Caitlin Muir. Gavin is eliminated for the night and will finish last. And the top 6, Brad Smith, Richie Mancha, Brett Pritchard, Daniel Quinones, Jonathan Hicks, and Andrew Weisbecker will all advance on for the main event. So give us a little break here shortly while we get the next run set up. Getting ready for a heat race number 2. Starting lineup for this one, Rick Hughes will be got chosen for P1. Trenton McPherson is starting off. There we go, P2. Sammy Cobb with the Visible by Verizon 77 starts next to Justin Osborne in the 79. Tim Salmon goes side by side with Quinn Izzo, Joshua Lockhart, and Timmy Weathers. And rounding out the field in the back, we got Dana Garwood. So remember, for this one, we have 11 cars instead of 10. So instead of 1 car being eliminated from this race, 2 cars will be eliminated from this race. Then after those 2 cars eliminated, 3 drop to the LCQ and the same top 6 advance. No, that is not a comfy pit wall to drink there, Brett, but thankfully you advanced on, so there's no chilling to drink just quite yet. You get to be comfortable for the rest of the night and watch the heat races and the LCQ before attempting the main event. And so at least it's a good night so far, right? Let's see if we got this thing working properly. Hey, look at that. We do. Let's just give that a little change. There we go. So the biggest surprise of the night was the fact that Benjamin Thomas was dropped to the LCQ in the first heat. We know that he brought brand new cars for the weekend, so that's kind of unfortunate for him. Maybe they're trying to save the cars for the big race because sorry, my mind blanked. We have the rule going in effect this weekend that your car is basically seized for the entire weekend. You can't just bring multiple cars. This is to keep it a little more fair with the big teams versus the small teams. So the car you're running at this race, you also have to run at the big track that you just saw in the background. So got only one drink for the main event. Well, hopefully it's a good one. Hopefully it's a dubby. New flavor just dropped today. It is the mango orange cream. Can't wait to get that in the mail so we can give it a try out ourselves. So go ahead and go to w.gg/FARCA or just use offer code FARCA to get 10% off your order for some delicious energy drinks. Pace car heads down the pits. We're going to leave it up to Rick Hughes to lead us around the racetrack. And there he goes. Sets it into the corner. Trent McPherson right behind him. We got 15 laps of heat racing. These are the remainder of the back half of the field from the Auto Club race. This is positions 22nd down to 30. Sorry, 22nd down to 32nd. Numbers are hard. Rick Hughes got a great launch off the start of this one. He is just taking off from the field. This is what we expected to see from Ben because they brought new cars from their short track program. Maybe they just missed the setup on the 24 car specifically, but Rick has shot out like a cannon. Sammy Cobb is trying to catch up to him. Eugene Hawk right behind him, not doing too bad himself. Down at the back, we have a battle with teammates to not be eliminated. This is Quinn Izzo and Timmy Weathers. Weathers got a new paint scheme for the weekend. Napa Auto Care Center, he's doing pretty good. Defending champion of all things too. Dana, not doing too bad either. We saw that Gavin fell off, but she's sticking right with the field, right here in contention. They're catching up to Joshua Lockhart, and these two Toyotas are trying to do their best to get around him because they'd rather be in the transfer than to fight for elimination themselves. But they got to hurry if they want to do it. And Rick is just gone. Already almost a 2-second lead over the entire field. This is crazy. This car is on rails. Back at the rest of the pack. Right behind Trenton. Last car to advance on is the 00. So this entire pack, not only are they fighting to not be eliminated, they're fighting to go straight to the heat, the main feature. So good little race going on here in the back of these cars. Almost halfway into this one. This is Anissa fighting the 00. We saw that later on, now that the track is beginning to rubber up. this outside lane might be way more effective. We saw Ben almost make it into the feature. And they're just still kind of riding along together, and 21 fading just a little bit as we approach 6 to go. Rick Hughes, 2.5 second lead. He is just gone. He's already halfway around the track to Dana. If this was a 30 lap race, he would lap her, which is just insane. Four to go. Coming around, this will be these cars, 4 to go right now. Looking like it is still going to be Tim Salmon transferring in. Anissa switching, trying to switch to that bottom line. Didn't get the chance to get in there. Joshua tried to stick it in. On board with him. Trying to get around 21 car best he can. 2 to go. See you guys come around. Battle for who's going to get eliminated. Will it be the 55? Will it be the 15? Oh, and there's Connie. He goes to touch his teammate. He almost spun the 15 car. Connor's not going to be happy. He owns this team, and I'm sure he didn't want to see that. But Aggression did not get eliminated as we take the checkered flag. The 55 tried and failed, unfortunately, for Weathers and Garwood. They are out. Lockhart, Nautanuski, and Izo all are going to go to the LCQ. Rick Hughes wins the heat race with a 3.7 second lead over Sammy Cobb, Eugene Hahn, Justin Osborne, Trenton, and Salmon, who make it on to the main event. So we'll go ahead and go under another break. And we'll be getting situated for heat race number 3. Please stand by. Engines are fired and we'll be getting going. It is the magic carpet ride because this lineup is the magic carpet ride. Alright, so the High Rock Chevy SS is going to be the one to lead us to the green. It's been an up and down year for Adam. Let's see if he can begin turning around. We're on the West Coast. Got a few Toyotas in this lineup as well. David Walsh had a pretty good year. Dylan Young, pretty decent for him. There he goes. Adam get the chance, fires off as soon as he can. He saw the advantage that Rick got with it, and he wants a piece of it too. Adam with a major lead to start this thing off, heading right into the turn number 1. Does his signature diamond apex. And Adam's looking to do what Rick did in heat number 2. Rest of the field battling side by side is a 56 and 25. Ryan and David Walsh behind them. Current car in the elimination zone, Joseph Ernesto. And then the battle to get into the main event is Dakota Cottle looking on the 18 car. He's got Dylan Young in front of all of them. Mr. DK wants this inside line to move. Chris Davis wants the outside to come in for him. Adam already with a 2-second lead. And it is quickly extending. He has got a bad, fast Chevrolet. He's in a zip code all by himself. Now 2.5-second lead while Walsh and DeLusso battle. This is only going to help Adam. But they're comfortable right where they're at because the 6th position is what really matters tonight. And currently it is Chris Davis and Andy Bewley going back and forth for the 5th spot. And the 7 car trying to muscle his way on that bottom line to get around that 18 car. It's 9 to go at the line. Can Chris get around the unsponsored 18? Adam already at a 3.6-second lead. That is where Rick was at the end of this thing, and we're only halfway into this. So definitely tonight, the fastest car on track is that 0 car. We'll see how the 4th heat goes, but right now, holy moly. And there we go. The battle for the transfers to the main event. And also in the back, Touchton has been passed by the 62 car, getting Ernesto out of the elimination zone. He's trying to get into the LCQ here. Dakota defending here for the main event. Trying to get both of his cars in there. Doesn't want to be in that LCQ at all. Not a bad weekend for DK. Porter go at the line. Adam with the 5.5-second lead. He is just comfortably riding this thing. Him and Brett don't want to be on that pit wall tonight. Got a few more times around. Oh, here comes the 46 car. Carter now with a late race resurgence, trying to get around this 18 car. She'd like to get into this thing too. Single car team running with Aramco. Partnered up with Toyota, and it was Redline Racing at the time. She's now Royal Purple Motorsport, so she works with them. Even though they are a Toyota. And the final lap, Adam Douglas is going to win heat race number 3 and the transfer spot. The last one's going to go to DK Cottle. And Ernesto is able to fight himself out of the elimination zone and makes it into the LCQ. And Dylan Touchton will officially score down the ranks. He will be scored officially 39th, getting removed from the heat tonight. So awesome job to the High Rock Chevy SS. You get to make it on to the feature. We'll be back with heat race number 4 here soon. All right, and we're here for heat race number 4, the fourth and final heat race of the night. And the teammate to the 0 car, Makoto Kino, is on the P1 position as well. So some good luck going that way for Change It tonight. Jeff Cannon in the 33 car for AMTER starts in the 2nd spot. Luis McClure in the 27 for Royal Purple Motorsport starts side by side with Connor Mir in the 29 car. Lizzie Wesley for Procrastination starts side by side with her boy Brandon Crasta. Francie Davis in the number 7 spot starts side by side with Austin Yoakum. And the final row is Mariah Douglas starting side by side with Evan Coward. We are missing a car. Alright, we're going to have to redo this. We are missing a car. We are missing me. Wonderful. Stand by while I can get this sorted out. Ah, I know the issue why. I know the issue why. And there it is. Herp, derp, 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 derp. Will the driver of the 97 car please enter the racetrack? Alright, there we go. And ta-da! Now we have all 11 cars. Okay. Not too different here. Kino still starts on P1. Followed by Aaron Douglas in the front row. Luis McClure and Connor Mir still in the 2nd row. Cannon moves to the 2nd row and will squeeze in between Lizzie Wesley and Brandon Crasta. Austin Yoakum starts next to him. Mariah Douglas and Francie Davis. And rounding up the field is Evan Coward. 11 cars in this one. Same rules as Heat 2. Bottom 2 get eliminated. The 3 cars right above them go to the LCQ. Top 6 advance on. We know the drill at this point. We're ready to rock and roll and get this thing going. $15 laps in this heat race. So we get ready to fire these engines up. And then we have 22 laps for the LCQ. And then 55 for the main feature. It's going to go by, hopefully, quickly. Caution laps will not count in the feature race if that happens. So it may be 55 laps. It could actually be 85. So it all will depend. Caution laps will indeed count in the LCQ, though, in the event that that happens, because we will have 12 cars on track versus the 10 and 11. And the LCQ, only the top 3 advance. We'll go over that again once we get to the LCQ. One more lap around, and then Makoto Kino will lead us off. Lots of good looking cars in this heat. Beautiful NOS car. Another new flavor on the 29 car. Mac and cheese on the 97. And Makoto fires off in the corner just the same way that Rick and Adam did. Trying to get the exact same advantage that they had as she fires down into the first corner. Great start for the 88 machine. 27 with Luis McClure, not letting her check out too far. Connor's able to get to the bottom side. Aaron's still struggling with that. He begins to drop back to the 5th position. Brandon Crasta, he's moved up into the transfer spot, passing Lizzie Wesley for it. Crasta trying to go straight to the feature. Our elimination zone currently is Francie Davis and Evan Coward, but she's looking to pass Austin Yoakum. Working on that bottom side, trying to get into that LCQ. Good battle going on for that. Luis McClure. They're still not letting Kino check out too much. She hasn't gotten to a second yet. The 88 car is very fast, but so are the others. Connor and Aaron, with their alliance this year, they're working together. They're currently just chilling, advanced into the feature at the moment, which is exactly what they want their Toyotas to be. Jeff Cannon right in front of them, also in that mixture. So good heat race for them so far. Crasta, owner of his own team, I'm sure he would like to get Lizzie up here. She's at least in the LCQ at the very moment, but that is currently Austin Yoakum who is trying to prevent that from happening. He just got passed by the 91 car, and he's going to fight with the 36 so he can transfer on. But he needs Francie to go a little bit faster. Chevy's not enjoying this heat too much, besides the one that's at the forefront of the field, NOS Energy 88, with 7 laps to go. And looks like Yoakum is going to be able to get the spot. Good job by Austin. iReal Motorsports. One of their cars already got moved out, but one's in the feature, so it looks like they'll have one eliminated, one in the LCQ, and one in the feature. iReal is kind of a little all over the place tonight. Crasta doesn't have too much fire coming on for Mariah to get into the feature position. She's trying, but doesn't look like she has the car to get into it. Makoto now with a 1.6 second lead. This time around, it'll be 3 to go for her. One of the best drivers that we've ever seen come into FARCA, just absolutely blew our minds. Came into the season about 2/3 of the way into the truck season, and then absolutely put on a clinic. Immediately got promoted into the W Premier Series and won a race right at the very end of the season, and now has a full-time ride. So it is no doubt for what she has done and accomplished in such a short amount of time. And she'll be heading into the main event with looks like a heat race win. 1 lap to go. And your heat race number 4 winner of the best cars from Auto Club is Makoto Kino. The final transfer spot is going to go to Brandon Crasta, and the last car to make it in is Austin Yoakum, defeating Lizzie Wesley and Evan Coward after being in the elimination spot. So Lizzie and Evan will not make it to the feature race. They will not get a chance to fight in the LCQ. And Mariah, Francie, and Austin get one more chance to fight to get into the main event. So give us a bit of a break here. We're going to sort things out, get the cars lined up, and we will have our last chance qualifier. And heading into the last chance qualifier for the night. Starting P1, Benjamin Thomas. The surprise of the night was the fact that he actually got dropped down to this, so he is expected to dominate the race, but we shall see. He starts side by side with Western Auto Racing's number 91 car of Francie Davis. Row number 2, Anissa starts side by side with Caitlin. And row number 3, Mariah Douglas starts next to Austin Yoakum at his number 4. Did a great job getting himself out of elimination in the heat race he was in. Jacob McMillan and the Western Auto Toyota is side by side with Jamie Carter's Aramco Toyota. Chris Davis starts next to Quinn Izzo. We saw Quinn battle with his teammate, almost got turned by the 55 car to stay out of his elimination. And it's not looking too good for Team Motorsports tonight. They'll be starting in the very last row. Ben, your heat was number 1 and you got removed from it. That's why you're in the LCQ. It's a silly question, dude. So Team Motorsports, it's going to be a stretch. You guys got to get all the way to the podium if you guys want to be in the main event of the night. So ready for the engines to fire. 22 laps, only the top 3 advance. Caution laps do count. Sun is starting to set here in the desert of Las Vegas, Nevada. And we're ready to have a lot of fun for the Jackpot Shootout feature. Let's get us 22 great laps, guys. Toyota versus Dodge and Ford. If you're curious as to where your results were, please check the Discord. All of the results have been posted there. You can see if you were eliminated, sent to this race, or if you are already advanced onto the feature. After this race, the final results will be shown from it and everything will be set up. Big parade lap going on. Crowd is happy. They're ready to see some racing. Ben leads us into the turn number 1. Great hole shot by him. We've seen that line being used a lot tonight, and there he goes. Anissa jumps into the second spot. Mariah trying to get the transfer. She's down the bottom of Francie Davis. Outside lane, not usually preferred, but she's trying to get into this main race. Teammate Jacob McMillan from Western Auto trying to fight with his teammate in the 91 versus 12 car. 3 wide as we head into the corner. That's Caitlin shooting the middle. Contact with the 91 car exiting the corner. Caitlin doing whatever she can to get that Toyota up to the front. She is trying now on the outside of the 12 car, and it's going to go back 3 wide. The 91 car, Francie's going to show it right back to her. An intense battle. Contact with the 4 car. Francie wins this thing. Audesto, who started in the last row, is now all the way up to the 8th spot. He knows he has to get to P3 if he wants to transfer on. It is going to be a crazy night for these guys. Up in the transfer spot, Mariah does have it. She is the last one in it. Her spouse's teammate is in the 4th spot. He's being challenged by Austin Yoakum in his 4 car. Jacob has gained the most spots tonight with 3, so he wants to get up there. Francie's lost the most, along with Caitlin, who's down to 6 spots. She's falling way back. That's not what they want to see for the 92 car at all. Benjamin leading this thing with a 1.2 second lead. We expected this car to dominate. He's supposed to have one of the fastest cars of the weekend, especially with how good Rick's car was. Anissa in second with Royal Purple Motorsports. She's trying to transfer on. And then Mariah. Down to 15 laps. This is what the normal heat would finally be, because we're still sorted out. A crazy start where people were battling for positions. It's kind of mellowed out now as we go single file. A little bit of 2 wide down here in the back. Yoakum is catching the 12 car. He wants to be able to challenge it. If he can get around him, he can go for the transfer spot. $11 to go. Ben's got a 1.9 second lead over Anissa. Anissa's comfortably ahead of Mariah. Sun going down. It's almost time for the lights on this racetrack. Having a lot of fun at the smaller short track here, utilizing both of the asphalt tracks tonight. And don't forget, after the feature event here on the big track, cars are getting ready. It's going to be the Valvoline Pro Series will be after the feature race. All kinds of racing going on. If you bought your ticket to this one, please show it at the gate and they will let you on in. Ben doing a great job trying to win the LCQ. Pretty nervous after missing the setup for the heat race. Yeah, something has to be going on with Caitlin's car. She's dropped all the way to the last position now. That's pretty unfortunate for her. Not the way she wanted to go about it. Could be a problem, maybe engine issue. She does have the option to take the EOL for the race tomorrow if they find a problem with this car. Mariah doing a great job. Her Rebel Racing 83. Rebel Energy car. And just a handful of laps to go. Ben is taking us around for the final two. The white flag next time around for the Penzo Menards Dodge. White flag is in the air. A couple more turns for Ben. And the final time into 3 and 4, winning the last chance qualifier after a bad heat race is Benjamin Thomas. Anissa is going to finish second, and Mariah is going to be the final car to transfer in to get to the feature event. As for Jacob McMillan, Austin Yoakum, Francie Davis, Chris Davis, Joseph Ernesto, Joshua Lockhart, Jamie Carter, Quinn Izzo, and Caitlin Mir, all will be eliminated from the feature event. A crazy start to this race, multiple 3-wide action with Davis and Mir switching back and forth. The contact with Austin Yoakum as well. Yoakum tried so hard to get up to McMillan, but I think that hard racing stalled him out, and that ended up being the final straw for him. So we're going to get the lineup set up, and the feature race will be coming up next. It will be in a separate broadcast, so we will be ending this here, and we'll be live for the main one here shortly. So thank you guys for watching the heats and the LCQ with us. We'll be back momentarily.